Yo, what's up, everyone? It is your boy Shazman21. Welcome to another video by your boy Shazman21. Now, in today's video, I've been thinking about actually talking about this topic for quite a bit of time. I just haven't really got into get into this topic in quite some bit of time. Sometimes, whenever I'm doing like some things, like working out, I always think like, "Oh, this would be a good topic to talk about," and then something pops up. But otherwise, I really want to talk about this like situation about like false advertisement, especially this whole notion about if you take this certain amount of substance or supplement or follow this specific type of workout regime, you're gonna gain like 20 plus pounds of muscle in like next few weeks, say like week 7 or week 12 or whatever week number. And all I gotta say is just it's so silly considering that it takes a tremendous amount of time to even be able to gain muscle, because usually it takes like, I don't know, like 6 months maybe, or even sometimes a year to like put on like really good solid pounds of muscle, especially if you do this like for like, if we're doing it on a weekly basis. Sometimes you'll barely even gain like maybe 1 pound of muscle. Now, with the only few exceptions would be, if you're a beginner, then that's a completely different story. You will gain quite a lot of muscles, especially if you're like really, really new to this. So it's completely different for beginner to do that compared to someone that's intermediate or advanced. For those guys, they can still gain muscle, albeit it's going to be a lot smaller. But to put on like just straight up like 20 pounds of muscle is just, it's not going to happen, even if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced lifter, or just into the fitness in general. So all I gotta say about that is it's pretty silly. And just for some talking points here, I listed off, this is on my notes and stuff, would be like, of course, 20 pounds of muscle in a few weeks, which is weird. And to add a little side tangent too, I saw like some commercials too on YouTube where, these, I guess, promoters or whatnot, or supplement company, or I don't know, these, who the heck ever is that, I'm not gonna even name or bother naming at all. They were pretty much promoting like, oh, if you take this supplement, you'll gain 20 pounds of muscle or whatnot, which prompted me to do this video. So yeah, it's pretty silly. Also, like, how they are able to pretty much sell the idea like, oh, I don't know, I'll get into that in a minute. And why it's extremely important to do research on this. Absolutely very important to do that, because you know it's one way to like state that is wrong, but also like another way to like get like actual proof of that. So again, for this video, it's just to bring awareness to this. So I would recommend you guys to actually do you guys' own research on this. So next time when I do this topic here, I will definitely put some further research on this. Just for this particular video, I just want to just bring into like certain attention to the general public that you do not need to take supplement, and on top of that, it's not going to gain you 20 pounds of just pure muscle. It's just not going to happen. That is obviously horse crap. Like, it's just stupid marketing, as it is with everything. So I just want to just bring into attention with that. And also another talking point real quick, just the harmful effects of the false advertisement, which also can further add to body dysmorphia, which I will be talking about here. And other two talking points would be, being self-aware, critical, and observant of your surroundings, especially what you consume on the internet. And then to end it off, promote health over false narratives of what's possible to achieve or whatever. So I already just talked a bit about like 20 pounds of muscle in a few weeks. Now, how are they able to sell this idea is kind of hard to say, but just if you just know your basic marketing 101 is basically to sell a product or just to sell something. So use like other like quote unquote research that like, oh, this is like this is possible if you like take this, with just like maybe one research that like maybe works. But without like any further testing, it's just hard to say. So they'll just use like ideas like, oh, if you take this, then like by week whatever, you'll get able to like build muscle or whatnot, and that like, oh, studies show like, oh, if you take this, you'll get that. But it's hard to say because it's like most other studies will also put the opposite majority of the time, which is opposite effect, which is mostly negative effects with some of these supplements. But yeah, anyways, they pretty much use like a cherry picked idea on like, oh, it there's like a specific study that like works, and then just run with it and just say like, if you take this, then you can get a similar result or whatever. Basically basic marketing 101. But like I said, I'm not really like too much of an expert on this. It's just what it is. But just anyways, let's just keep it going. It is extremely important to absolutely research on this, especially on the nutrition side too, because from what I've heard too, it can cause some really harmful effects on the body as well, from just a lot of other things, especially if you don't know like if it has like any type of like weird substance or steroids or anything else like that. So it's just like you just got like really really like pay attention if this is even helpful for you. Even like whey proteins or whatnot, it depends on where you're like buying it from, where it can like either cause you to have this effect or that effect depending on which brand you're taking, because sometimes it could be like those like off brands where they'll just like say, oh, you'll gain like 20 pounds of muscle, or sometimes I don't know if I want to go to getting like any not safe for work, but like you'll gain an extra length on your Johnson or whatnot. But yeah, it's weird. Like with those kind of like brands, it's like ugh, gross. But yeah, it just like depends. It really really does depend. But it is definitely extremely important to make sure you do your research on that, especially if you're online or if you're attempted to even want to try these supplements out. It is best to do your absolute research, and then just I would also put like the cost and effect of like buying these products, if it's gonna like serve a purpose in your life. Because if there's like a product that does like serve a purpose in what you're doing, then absolutely do what you gotta do. But otherwise, if it just does not serve a purpose, say like for example, the product might be like harmful to your body, then it wouldn't make sense to buy it. It just wouldn't make sense to buy it at all. But yeah, it's definitely important to make sure you guys do your research on that. Anyways, let's go ahead into another talking point here, and that is the harmful effects of false advertisement and further issues with body dysmorphia. Yeah, this is definitely in relation to, just like this like false belief that, oh, if you take this type of supplement or whatnot or whatever, you're going to gain 20 pounds. But then let's say if you were to take that and actually go with that advice, but then let's say week 7 or week 12, you don't really see much of a result. And sometimes it's either you're like stagnated, or you might end up having like some negative side effects with that. Whereas like it's like really so bad to the point where it causes you to have like a lot of like harmful side effects, not inside of the body and also like mentally here, where it's just like you would think like, man, I wasn't able to gain 20 pounds. Am I doing it wrong, or what's going on? Just like feeding in the insecurity aspect, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And even when you like contact them about that, like, oh, this didn't really give me that, so what else do I have to do? And then they'll come up with some other excuses. It's a vicious cycle. So it's best to just like be careful with what you see, especially even on the internet too, because this doesn't necessarily apply to like supplements. It can also apply to just like what you see like in photos and videos, where people would use some type of lighting to make their bodies look good. And again, there's nothing wrong with absolutely doing that, because that's just like their highlight. That's the thing. If you want to do that, just like make yourself look good or whatnot, just for like a fit picture, I mean, I don't have an issue with that. Just try to like keep in mind, this just like for others, just try to keep in mind that this is just a highlight of something that they've been doing for quite a bit of time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not good to like compare yourself to someone's already finished product, especially with photos. Because here's the thing: some photos can actually be edited, especially on Photoshop. So just be careful with that, and just be aware of it. Yeah, I think that's just the best way to put it. Is just be aware of it, and if you're suffering from like mental illness, especially with body dysmorphia, I would recommend just getting that checked out, by a therapist, and seeing what you can do about it, and just be comfortable in your own skin, because at the end of the day, it's your own body. So you know, speaking of which, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this as well. Bringing self awareness, or sorry, being self aware, critical, and observant. Yeah, observant to your surroundings and what you consume on the internet, or well, anywhere in the world. But otherwise, yeah, definitely those three are very, very important. Being self aware of what you are like, you know, doing, like, you know, be self aware of the fact, like, is this like, helping me out, or is it harming me? Being very critical with like, well, not so critical where you're like being an ass about it, but just like you're a little bit like skeptical, where you're just like, I'm not too sure if I can like get into that. Let me just test it out, or just see further research to see whether or not this can actually benefit me or it doesn't. Just like just being a bit skeptical and things, because being blindly like loyal to like one things can be a kind of a detriment. So be careful with that, because again, there's nothing wrong with being skeptical about literally anything, because it's just being curious and make sure that the information that you're getting is right. Hell, I'm pretty much like a bit critical, or even like skeptical on whether or not I'm providing information, or the right amount of information, because I do pride a little bit on making sure that, even though yes, I want to make sure that I do entertaining things, but also want to make sure that especially if there's like things that I'm just not like into, I just try my best to not go too much into things I don't quite know, especially with like nutrition and whatnot, because again, I'm still kind of like learning that. So I want to make sure that the information I'm getting, even from that sort of way, is like it's like the best information that a casual person like yourself that's watching this, that can like understand, or just comprehend, such situations. But yeah. Oh, hold on. And also being observant. So basically, just like having the foresight to see what's going on with anything, internet or in real life. Just being observant of just like I wouldn't say trends necessarily, but there's just like something like that's like popular going on. Like, oh, if you take this, you'll like get popular, or if you take this, you're gonna like get more muscular, or even like in other situations, like if you take my class, you can get more rich, or you can get more excuse my French, bitches, and all this other stuff. Like, you just gotta like be observant about that, and just like think, this is weird. Should I like consume all that? I don't know. It's just being aware of like your surroundings is just the most important thing that all of us has, especially as human beings. We have pretty much capability of being aware, socially or any other way, to rat out like what's useful, what's good, and what's useless, and what's bad, stuff like that. So keep that in mind, sharpen that up. It's because his thing, as much as having a nice body would be awesome, having a sharp mind for the rest of your life, it doesn't matter if you start young or old or whatnot, as long as you are able to like sharpen your mind, it just gets better over time. Because the only thing that's gonna like matter in your life is just, again, the choices that you make, and also being able to use your head, or your brain, or whatever. Use your brain. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the talking point. And for this last talking point, I'm gonna go ahead and I know it's gonna be a thing, promotion or whatever, but This one's more just like in a way that benefits everyone. Promote health over false narratives of what is possible to achieve. Like, what I mean by that is just like I said, going back to this whole like, oh, if you take the supplement or take this training regime that so and so did, you can gain 20 pounds of muscle and you can look like, I don't know, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, or any one of those guys, or Dwayne Rock Johnson, or any celebrity to, look big and be opposing or whatnot. And the thing is, it is good to, it just sounds too good to be true. And the reason why is because there's a lot that goes down there. It can be like a lot of like stuff that they cannot say that they take. There's a lot of like just a lot going on and behind the scenes with that. So it's just best to just be aware of that. And for the rest of the people that want to like just focus primarily with like fitness, like be better, it's best to promote health, because at the end of the day, we're all here to, as far as like fitness goes, like we're all here to pretty much live a better, healthier lifestyle than we were living previously. I guess I'll say for my example would be, I guess myself. Oh, fuck it. Um, I was not living the best sort of life for a bit, especially during the pandemic era, of course, 2020, hindsight, the whole virus and whatnot, where the only thing I was consuming again was like food that was pretty comfortable, and I ended up gaining quite a lot of weight, was dealing with a lot of stress. It was just not that, healthy to just continue to like pretty much sit on my ass all the time and mope about like just a lot of bullshit that hindsight just, it, who cares. But otherwise, with that, I learned a lot of lesson through training, through nutrition, through just overall betterment of my health, especially like since last year, where just like I said, I went from 200 pounds to then like 170 pounds. Now, of course, right now it's a little bit different, but I have lost like a tremendous amount of weight, and I'm gonna continue to at least do that by living a healthy lifestyle and just doing the best that I can. Now, is it perfect? Hell no. I made plenty of mistakes along the way, but it is important to learn from that and get better over time, because you know hold on. It does suck to like feel like you failed at something here and there, and it's gonna be like, oh man, that sucks. But if you're able to like get yourself back up from having to pretty much deal with the failure, then you're golden, bro. Like for us. Um, I realized that too, where like I would make some silly mistakes, even from like working out too, where the only thing I was like prioritizing, at least for a bit of time, was just like focusing on like weightlifting, getting more muscles or whatnot, and not necessarily focusing on making sure that I am actually mobile and able to like stretch my body in ways I can, and I don't know, basically being more functional, even with that too. So you know it's just best to just like learn these lessons and just get better over time. And the best we can all do is just live our healthiest lives as best as possible, whether that's like eating right or going to the gym or just getting some type of exercise in. Hell, just simply just walking is a hell of a lot better than just mope around and be like, oh, fuck this and fuck that and all this other shit. So basically, just kind of move your ass a little bit. Yes, and I mean like actually, twerk that ass and do what you gotta do. uh, but anyways, I just want to bring you guys' attention to that. All I will say is just whatever supplement you're gonna take. Like here's the thing, I'm not gonna like completely say like oh, you should get rid of supplements, like it's bad. Like it's up to you, especially if you're an adult. Like do what you gotta do. I would again, caution, making sure that you do your research to make sure that, it's like something that's like, if it's like, if you see like the agreements where it's like, it's going to be like, it has like a lot of harmful effects, then probably reconsider wanting to take that. But otherwise, just, whatever supplement you want to take, go ahead, just as long as it's actually, safe and it's going to help you, enhance your body just a little bit more to whatever you want to do. Otherwise, I think, again, for the majority of us that don't want to do all that, take supplements, whatever, just focus on health. Just prioritize making sure that you get enough sleep, you get enough drink, you get enough, exercise throughout the day, whether that's just, walking or even, doing weightlifting or calisthenics, anything. Any type of exercise would be beneficial, just as long as you are staying active throughout the day, especially if you have like some like tasks that you gotta do, like, you know, working at construction sites or whatever. Or if you're like having like a sedentary job, maybe just, add a little bit more walking in your life. Say like during break, you can just add like, 10-minute walk or whatnot. And yeah, just really whatever you decide to do with your life, just do what you gotta do. Live your life to the fullest, but also just, if you want to maximize on your life, it's best to just like, reflect on whether or not this is gonna work for you, especially with the fitness journey, because like I said, this is a journey of a lifetime. So, it's gonna be there for you forever. So it's best to just, keep that in mind if you want to do that. But otherwise, I just want to just bring you guys, attention to that. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let me know in the comments down below if you want to again see more of this. And yeah, just let me know which your thoughts on this whole like supplemental and all this false advertisement thing on, in the comments down below. And yep, I think that's all I gotta say. Anyways, this is your boy Shazman21. Sign out, and I'll see you guys in another YouTube video. Stay peaceful, stay amazing, stay awesome, and most importantly, like I said, stay being healthy, because that's the only thing that you really got in this world, in this lifetime, is your health. So please prioritize that by all means. Anyways, that's all I gotta say, and I'll see you guys in another video. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Boom!